Welcome all denizens of the Underhive. Today we are making our own Necromunda Ironhead Squat claim jumper. So the claim jumper is a fairly reasonable price from Forge World, £24 for technically two models, which, going by Forge World prices, isn't the end of the world. Fairly good quality resin, as most of the Necromunda models are, even though sometimes resin's a bit of a pain to stick together. But the detail on this thing is pretty good. Now I'm making my own mainly because I'm looking at this model and I'm thinking I've got most of the ingredients here already. Not because I'm mega tight, which I am fairly tight. But certain models like Grimmeow, for example, it's quite a unique model. I don't think I can make that weapon look anything like what he's wielding. But the claim jumper, yeah, I think I can make him up from bits and pieces of squats that I've already got. So all the bits I'm using in this conversion are from squat type things. By that I mean the Ironhead Squat Upgrade Kit, which I already have in my possession. So I'm using this mainly for the axe. I mean the pick. I know what I'm talking about. I can see the word axe. My brain said axe. I'm talking about the pick. So I want the pick head. Probably going to use one of the power pack options as well, because this one looks a little bit different from the standard. Certainly not the welder or anything like that. The main part of this guy is going to be made from, you guessed it, the standard squat prospector kit. So yeah, that's going to be the majority of his body. Next, I'm going to go for the Exo King, mainly for his little companion. So I want to use the slightly bigger companion of the two. Yeah, in the picture he's got feet, and I could clearly see this one here has got feet as well. I could put him possibly in a slightly larger base. It doesn't look too much different. And the other one has wheels on. I don't know, I've already made one with feet already, so I could just use that model and put it on a larger base. It looks pretty much the same as, I mean, the other one kind of looks like it's got a bit of a dozer face to it, like a bulldozer kind of face to it. And then this kit, that's what I'm saying, squat-ish type things. So yeah, technically it's Votan, but the reason I'm using this squat kit is there's some great power fists in this kit. Yeah, there's some great power fists in the Exokin kit as well, but that has a power cable at the back, and this guy doesn't have much of a power cable coming out the back of the power fist. The power cable in the Exokin box goes right all the way up to the back of the backpack, and on the picture he's got kind of a tiny little kind of power cable, but mainly I'm picking one of the cyborg-ish heads from this kit to use for this guy, because this guy's got half a metal head. So I'm going to start with, like I do with most of my models, I'm going to start with the body. So that's the legs and the torso, which, like I said, comes from the core prospector kit. So I will dig out the sprue and show you guys. So in the sprue, there's some fantastic models, like all Games Workshop models. Lots and lots of detail, but I'm after a dwarf body, or a squat body, with a leathery belt, like a sash, going from his right shoulder down to his left waist. So I'm going to clip these two out and stick them on. So I've checked the rules, I've checked the instructions, and yes, it is these two bits. Let's cut them out with some nice sharp side cutters. Yeah, I'm using Games Workshop side cutters. I always find they're pretty good, nice and tight to the piece I'm snipping out, but make sure you have a nice sharp hobby knife to go with it as well, just to tidy it up before gluing it together. So quite a nice kit, lots of things on there that I've used for conversions on my squats so far. The only thing that's just my own feeling, the only thing I don't particularly like is the great big squat heads. So these things, they're a little bit too big for me. Great detail, but it looks like they've got massive headphones on. So another Sump City radio, their own squats. They've replaced the heads with ball bearings to make them look a bit more sci-fi, and that is a great option. I have gone a bit more techno Viking, I guess you'd call it, a bit more Space Wolf, and I've got some heads from Pockets of War that I've used so far. So scraping off the excess, clean up any mold lines before sticking them together. So the heads I'm talking about is this one in particular. So a nice like Fenrisian style head. Definitely more like he belongs in a metal band. That's just my own personal taste. But for this conversion, he's not like that at all. So I'm going to tidy these bits up, find the appropriate feet with them, and stick them to his base. So you can probably hear the wind and the rain outside now going ballistic. But here's my nice legs. Check out my nice legs. And I've obviously glued him to the base. So far so good. Next, let's go for some arms. So what do I need from this sprue? Oh yeah, the axe. So, boom, there we go. So that's the axe head itself. I'm going to use the arm from the main Iron Heads box because that's a one-handed arm, whereas the arm from the upgrade sprue is a two-handed arm. So in the main picture of the claim jumper, he's only holding the pick with one hand, and yet the model itself, rules-wise, is armed with a maul, which doesn't really matter. We're using what looks like what's in the picture, because rules-wise, you're going to be using the power fist. You're not really going to be using a maul, because you give +1 to someone's armor save if you use a maul. So when you're attacking, use the pistol, use the power fist, don't pick the maul, unless you want to improve somebody's armor. I have no idea what that is. I thought it would be a typo, but then when the rules book got updated and this book came out, it's still, the maul has +1 to someone's armor, which sounds ridiculous. The weather is nuts outside at the moment. I really don't know what's going on. I know they said there was a storm coming, but damn! So yeah, if I die while making this, can someone please delete my internet history and tell everybody that I love them? Also, from the upgrade sprue, I want to take that, what looks like a vice clamp or something, off of that sprue. Also, I quite like these bits, because they look like, being a mechanic myself, hence my always grubby hands, they look like a con rod, or a piston attached to it in an engine. But this is the power pack weapon, so I'll stick those two together, and that will eventually be the over-the-shoulder power pack. It looks more like a vice than anything else. So like I said, I'm using the one-handed weapon. Now, it does look rather large, so what I might do is cut a section out, because after all, the pickaxe in the picture doesn't look like a two-handed pickaxe. So I'll attach it briefly to the model with some blue tack, see what I think. If it looks too long compared to the picture, I will trim a section out. So that is the one-handed pick, which looks pretty cool. It is slightly shorter possibly on the claim jumper, but not that much. Not enough for me to want to shorten it, plus it just looks absolutely boss. Time, his head is about there. It's not much different. Anyway, so I have put a little bit of green stuff to fill in the hole where the head's going to go, because the base of the heads that are supposed to go in these bodies are a lot bigger than the cyborg looking head that I want on there. So I've got the vice clamp all glued up. I've got the backpack. Now make sure in the kits there are right-handed power packs, so ones with the bump on one side. It was nearly going to be crude then, but I am an adult, so the ones on the right hand side, not the one on the left, because when you stick it on, it is supposed to be over the shoulder on this side. So I will do that now, or off camera. So stick those two together and stick it on his back. I have got the pistol on his back, because if you notice on some of the side pictures you can see the handle of the pistol there. So it looks like he could quick draw at the back of there. And some grenades and stuff, which is also on the model. And remember, he has got a power fist, which I will stick on in a second as well. So the only thing really left is the head after that. So like I said, I started a little bit of green stuff, because the cyborg looking head doesn't have much of a neck on it. And like I said, there is quite a wide base on the heads that are supposed to stick on these bodies. So I'll get with that and stick those bits on. So you'll probably notice there's something different about this model. It doesn't have the green stuff bit in there anymore, because it's a different base, as in it's a different core of the model, different body, different legs, because I like the strap going that way, because in the claim jumper from Forge World the belt goes that way, but I decided, because you get two of these bodies in the set with the cloth legs, like the semi coat, I guess, draped over the legs, looks more like the claim jumper. So I've transferred some of the parts over. Also, the pistol sits a little bit better on this one, because it's a bit more like the Forge World model. But you do have a gap on the back of the pistol, so I have green stuffed a little bit in there before sticking the pistol on. So the fist on the Forge World model is slightly open. So the only open fist you've got that is squat related is from the Exokin. But with the Exokin, the arm is a lot bigger, the shoulder is a lot bigger, so you would maybe have to carve it down. And the arm is totally different. But then if you look at the Forge World model, the top of the arm does look almost mechanical in nature. Like it's, rather than just a power fist, it is maybe a bionic arm. So I'm still going to stick this one on, I think. But regards the shoulder pad, so if you notice in the picture, there is a little bit of a shoulder pad. So rather than using, let's say, a a Goliath one, for example, I'm thinking use one of these many visors of the helmets. So the front of the helmet's like the peak, if you will. One without glasses. So you notice some of them have glasses on, like that one there. So I'm going to cut this off. I am going to use the upright ridge bit is the top, and the curve down is just going down the arm, which means I will have to shave this lens. So it might not work, but I've got loads of them anyway, so I was going to give it a go so it looks more like a shoulder pad, like on the model itself. So I'll spend a little bit of time shaving off the spotlight and see what it looks like when I stick it on top of the arm. Once again, if I used the Exokin arm, that wouldn't fit over the top, because the top of the arm is quite hefty. So the only main difference I think on this model is the fist. So the fist is closed. The top on the Forge World model looks like it's been wrenched off or something, and you can see the cables and stuff inside. But that's not the be all and end all. I don't really care. It's the basic silhouette. I just think this guy looks slightly cooler with the half coat than the other one, which is fine. Like I said, I've transferred over most of the parts anyway. I'm thinking about leaving this piece on. I might even turn it into a hammer, or I was thinking maybe a massive monkey wrench, massive Stilsons, because I was thinking maybe making a mechanic for the ash waste. So I just stuck a few pouches and stuff on there to cover up where the gun was. So no harm, no foul. I have loads of them anyway. So I could have totally edited this video and then make it look like that I'm not indecisive. But I want you to hear my ramblings and show you that I'm only human. I am indecisive. And I think this coat looks better. But if you prefer the strap going the other way, it's totally up to you. So there we have it. My claim jumper. I know there was a little bit of deliberating halfway through, but it really didn't take any time at all, really. I know what backpack I wanted, I know what power weapon I wanted, and I know about the pick. The only thing is, I don't think is that similar, is the fist. But I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. Like I said, the fist on the Forge World model has like an open top. There is no open top other than the Forge World one. And I think the top of the arm, so that bit there, is robotic. It kind of looks like it on the pictures of the Forge World model. I don't obviously have the Forge World model, but I am quite happy how that shoulder pad turned out. So I could have used pretty much anything from like a Goliath shoulder pad to an Orc shoulder pad, anything like that. Hell, I could even have a Space Marine one, and it kind of had a little cheeky little nod, especially if it was an Imperial Fist one, because it was Imperial Fist apparently on Necromunda. But I wanted to keep it within theme, so yeah. And I also didn't want to use that many boxes. So my idea was 3 boxes or less, ideally, and probably the boxes that you already have if you have squats, because that's the whole idea. Why spend loads of money making a model where you can just spend the money on buying the model? So like I said, that is from the what I call the core box of Necromunda for squats, and the arm, and the shoulder, and the backpack, and the power weapon. Actually no, the power weapon does come from the accessories kit, and so does that head of the weapon, the pick. That comes from the Exo Driller. The Exokin kit, and the head, that was just my personal preference. I got comes from the Votan actual Berserker box, but you can use any of the heads in the kit, obviously. But the only reason I picked that is half of that head is a metal plate, and that is pretty much like it is in the Forge World kit. So there you go, guys. It didn't take me very long. It literally took me an evening, even though I stopped halfway through and changed the body. But body type is totally up to you. I went with the one with like the half coat kind of look, because it's like the Forge World model. Plus, tactical rock, right? You can't have a character unless he's standing on a rock. So there you go. I did originally obviously have the other body because the belt went the other way, but choice is up to you. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you guys think it is a good representation of the Forge World model, and hopefully my opponents will as well.